Hello everyone, and welcome back to our video production Just the Basics classes. Today we're going to be going over two topics. Our first one is how to run a Zoom meeting and integrate video, and we'll also be going over how to post your final videos on social media. So first we're going to, like it says right up here, we're going to go over how to run a Zoom meeting and integrate video into that meeting. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and go to zoom.us. This is what you'll see. Where it says my account, if you're not signed in, it'll ask you to sign in, but right now I am in Carol's account. So it gives you the option to host a meeting on the spot, which you can do if you want to host something right away with video on or off, or if you want to schedule a meeting for the future, you can do that as well. So the video goes a little bit quickly, so I'm going to stop here and there just to make sure that everyone is understanding anything or if you have any questions. So Zoom does give you two options. You can host a meeting on the spot where you can start a meeting right away, or you can schedule one in advance. If you have a date and a time that works for everyone, you can go ahead and schedule that. So does that make sense to everyone? That sounds good?
Yeah, that's great. Great.
For topic, you can put in whatever you're meeting about, whatever you want to put in there. You can also pick the date and the time, as well as the duration of your meeting. And then you'll come down to a few customization options. You can have a meeting with video on or off for host and participants. There are a few other options down here as well. So I think at the end of September, Zoom is also going to be, I think they're going to require a password or some sort of security to put up for your Zoom calls. They just want to make sure that no one can kind of pop in and do anything inappropriate.
So require both the passcode and the waiting room.
Right? Yeah. So you, I think these automated kind of customization options might change because you're going to have a waiting room. You're going to have a password. So that's just something to bear in mind. And if you have any questions about that, you can always reach out to me or Jill or anyone.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that at the beginning I was using the password and they have to register, but that was complicated for some of the women and the numbers were really low. Once I removed that and they just have access, they could just join directly. I noticed that I haven't had any issues of having people, unexpected, and they just joined the group with no problem. So I don't know if that's going to be a requirement. That might be a problem for us.
Maria, I think the potential workaround to that is having it simulcast to Facebook, because that way they could just watch on Facebook at the same time. That's how we kind of did the workaround with that.
Okay.
We can also look into other options. So Vicky, it's the password and the waiting room.
No, it's one or the other.
Oh, okay.
One or the other.
Also, the waiting room that works for me then.
Yeah, but then you can. I think you manually let people in with
the waiting room. I think we use that one, not the password. Okay, then it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. When you're finished, you can go ahead and click save. Then you have the option to add this meeting to your Google Calendar, your Outlook, or your Yahoo Calendar. I'm using Google Calendar. I'm going ahead and signing into my shared Gmail account, and this will pop up immediately for Google Calendar. Then you can add any guest that you want. So I'm adding Jill, I'm gonna add Dominique, I'm gonna add Deb. And when I click save, it will also give me the option to send any guest an invitation to this meeting, along with all of the Zoom information they need to attend. Okay, so does anyone have questions on that? I know I went through it rather quickly, but Zoom really integrates with a lot of other technology you might have, like if you have Gmail or Outlook or Yahoo, you're able to just integrate all of your meeting information is right here, and you can send it out to anyone that needs the information. Makes it really easy.
So let me just ask you a question. Do the people that we're inviting, do they have to have Zoom?
No. Okay. So I don't think they have to have Zoom.
Yeah, they just need the link.
They just need the link.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I need to that's the information I need to tell people, because it's a little bit of a, like myself, a little bit of a senior citizen situation. So I need to let them know that, you know, they don't need to download anything, that it'll come on their phone like it does to mine, and all they have to do is click on the link, right?
Well, to
Right.
access, on your phone, you might need to download the Zoom app.
Right. On the phone, you'll need to download the app. If you're
Okay,
doing
I
it
gotta
on a
write that down.
computer, then it'll give you the option to either go into the browser or
Uh-huh.
to download the app onto the computer. The only difference with Zoom on the browser is that it doesn't always allow you to have the chat feature.
Okay.
So if that's something that's not a concern, then that should be fine.
No, that is a concern, because I would want people, if I'm getting this correctly, I would want people to be able to have the ability to chat back and forth. Right?
I mean, they could speak. Well, when I say chat, I mean like the if you look at the bottom of the screen, there's a little box area for
Yeah,
the
that says chat here.
right. That's the extra separate chat box.
Okay.
I mean, it's not going to stop them from speaking to each other. If anybody's putting like private messages in there, they wouldn't see it on a browser.
Got you. Okay. Got it. Okay.
And Rose, also in the past webinars we've done, if it is you know, somebody who's a senior who's not, you know, as savvy with the computer, you know, Zoom always has a call-in option, so they can always call in and hear the presentation.
Right. Yes. Okay. So I all these things I have to get it together, because when I schedule this, I have to let them know ahead of time, because they may not have someone who can tell them
Show
what
them how to do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I need to be able to explain this to them. But go ahead.
Right.
I'm done.
No, that's fine. And then, Andrew, did you have a question, or you wanted to add something? Are you good?
No, I was just, I've used this so many times, and, it's very easy to download whatever app or software you need. It takes 2 seconds, and that way all the functions work. And my thing looks totally different than yours. I don't know if it's because, I just open it, I have it downloaded on the Mac or what, but it's all right. It seems to work. The way I keep uninvited people out is I will only send the Zoom invite to people who request that after I send out my friendly reminder about an event, including support groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would suggest that they have the program on their phone or computer. Zoom is you can make a free account. You don't have to pay for it. You do have some limitations with the free account. But that way anyone can join any Zoom meeting they need to with relatively, hopefully, no errors. But yeah, at the bottom of Zoom will kind of, in this description body of your event, you have options to call in. There are a multitude of different ways that someone can join if they're not comfortable downloading something onto their computer or phone. So if you wanted to host a meeting, right? Oh, so now I'm going to go into if you want to start a meeting immediately. So if you don't want to schedule something, you don't want to send out an invite a week or so in advance. If you want to start something immediately, this is what I'm going to go over now. Right away, you have the option to do that as well. You'll go to host a meeting with video on or off. That's up to you. So I'm clicking with video on. And then something like this will pop up where it's asking you to open zoom.us. It'll connect for a minute, and then here you have your meeting. So now that you're in your meeting and you want to invite participants to your meeting, you go ahead. Oh, sorry about that. Hello, but did that make sense to everyone? Kind of opening it up manually, and then you're able to invite people in if you're doing something more on the spot or meeting. So now that you're in your meeting and you want to invite participants to your meeting, you go ahead and click participants on that lower banner, click invite. You'll be sending these invites via email, so you can pick default email, Gmail, Yahoo. I'm just picking Gmail because that's predominantly where I do most of my emailing. Sign into your account, and then it will mock up this email for you where you can go ahead and click your participants. So again, I'm inviting Jill, I'm inviting Dominique, I'm inviting Deb, and then you can go ahead and click send whenever you are ready. Does that make sense to everyone? I like to use that sometimes if I have to do something really quickly, or if I'm doing something with a smaller group of people or we don't really have to schedule out in advance. I just thought it was good to have that knowledge. But now we're going to go into how you can present your video during a Zoom meeting, kind of like I'm doing right now. So now let's say it's time to present your video at your Zoom meeting. You're first going to open your video. I suggest saving it to your desktop so it's easier to find. Then you're going to go back into your Zoom meeting. You'll see me up at the top left here. There's a little square button with a green arrow you click. Then you are going to go ahead and click share screen. It's right in the middle of that bottom bar. It's big and green. It's hard to miss. Then you're going to do this show up. Then you'll just need to click the window open where you have your video, and then you are ready to present. And you can go ahead and click play to start your video whenever you're ready to present it. Does that sound good to everyone? It's not really that difficult, but I understand it's a lot of steps, so it can be confusing. You do want to make sure
Can you
that.
just do that one more time for me, please?
Yeah, of course. I did want to mention just quickly, you do have to be in your Zoom meeting to then obviously screen share. So I would suggest making sure your video, you have it saved somewhere that's easily accessible for you. So have that up, and then you can go into your Zoom meeting, and then you can just screen share, click on the window where you see that it's open, and then you can go ahead and present. But I will rewind that back a little bit.
Amanda, that also applies to PowerPoint presentation, isn't it?
Yes, it's anything that you want to present, if it's a photo, if it's a video, if it's a PowerPoint. For PowerPoint or a photo, you can also have it up kind of in your tabs here.
Okay. Yeah.
But for a video like that, where you're going to be working on it outside of like your internet browser, saving it on your desktop so it's right there.
Right.
Can't use it, you can just easily access it. That's what I would suggest. Then you are going to go ahead and click share screen.
Hold on 1 second.
The arrow you click. No, it's fine. I'm just trying to find where I begin talking about it.
Hello. Hi, Maria.
Okay.
Thank you, Maria. Okay, bye-bye.
Does anyone have any questions though? That seems good to everyone so far. Righty.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine. Time to present your video at your Zoom meeting. You're first going to open your video. I suggest saving it to your desktop so it's easier to find. So again, just saving your video somewhere that's easily accessible, your desktop, a folder somewhere that you can easily get to, just so that you don't have to worry about whether or not you can find it. And when we go over editing software, I'll go over how you can save it to your desktop in case someone needs, a quick tutorial on that as well. Then you're going to go back into your Zoom meeting. You'll see me up at the top left here. There's a little square button with a green arrow you click. So like I was saying before, I suggest you're in the Zoom meeting, and then you can open it. You can open up that video or something like that. This is just, I had minimized, because obviously you guys are in a big square here. I had minimized the video so I could find it on my desktop. But again, you can open it first and then go into your Zoom meeting. I was just trying to show you how to kind of get back into your Zoom meeting in case you had minimized it to find it. Then you are going to go ahead and click share screen. It's right in the middle of that bottom bar. It's big and green. It's hard to miss. So then this is what you'll see up here. Your desktop is your full desktop. So if you were wanting to show something on your internet browser, like a tab, if you had a photo open or a PDF open or things like that, you can share your whole desktop. So you can go from tab to tab on your internet browser. And then down here, you'll see the QuickTime video player. that's because it's a separate from your internet browser. It's a separate window. So that's what you would click on. Then you're going to see this show up. Then you'll just need to click the window open where you have your video, and then you are ready to present. And you can go ahead and click play to start your video whenever you're ready to present it. Okay. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I do apologize. I know the video goes really quickly. Again, you can always shout out any questions you have.
No, thank you. That was excellent. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad. All right. So does anyone have any other questions on Zoom? I will say, I don't know if everyone was here. I will go over in another meeting how to stream from Zoom to Facebook. So if that's something you're interested in, we can definitely go over that.
Yeah. That's good. I like
But
that.
if anyone has any other questions about Zoom or screen sharing, we can.
Amanda, I would just also, and I don't know if people use it, but you letting them know, like, you could also share from, like, if you have your presentation in Google Drive, you can share from Google Drive. The focus is just having it like up and ready, because we, doing so many Zoom presentations, what happens is like, okay, I think I saved it here and it's not there. So just having it up and ready, you can, play it from your desktop, but you could also play it if you have it on your Google Drive. So that's also another option.
Yeah. So like what I'm doing here for this video, I actually have it saved in my Google Drive, though I'm just showing it from the desktop. But that's a really good point in taking time to make sure you have all of your materials, making sure you know where everything is. Before this meeting, I took 15-20 minutes to make sure I had all of the tabs up that I needed. I had all of my materials ready. So it's important to make sure you know where everything is and you have it ready to go, so that you don't have to worry about it. All you have to worry about is clicking a screen share, and that hopefully you'll be a pro at, because we went over it, and then you can also access this video at any time. So again, if anyone has any Zoom questions, just feel free to shout it out, or else I'm going to go ahead and talk about how we can share our videos onto social media. Does that sound good? Okay. Okay. So for today, I'm just going to go over Facebook and Twitter. Instagram, it gets a little complicated just because you can't access Instagram from your browser. You can only access it from your phone. Oh, well, you can access Instagram from your internet browser, but you can't upload anything from your internet browser, which is a little frustrating. So you really have to do that on your phone, and that can get a little complicated. But if it's something that you guys are really interested in learning, if you use Instagram a lot, we can definitely go over that in the future. But I think Facebook especially does really well with video. So I think that it's really important that we go over how we can use, Facebook as Twitter as well, kind of to your advantage. Okay, so is everyone able to see my desktop right now?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna minimize this. So here I'm on my personal Facebook here. To get to here, Facebook actually just recently did a little bit of an update. So it kind of may look a little bit different than you're used to, or you may have been using Facebook for a while now, so you're kind of a little bit familiar with this update. But you're able to click here where it says kind of what's on your mind. It says Amanda, but obviously it'll say your name when you're on your own Facebook. You can click in here. And what I like to do is I like to drag and drop, because I find it really easy. So I don't have to kind of go through all of my files and find where I saved my video or my folder or anything like that. So I have it right here. This is the video that I want to put on my Facebook. So I can open up my create a post. You can also do it up here. There's this little plus button up here. You can create a post up here. Shows up either way, no matter how you want to do it. But if you have your video on your desktop, you can just drag it and drop it in, and then here's your video.
Oh.
So really, really easy. That's what I just save. I save everything on my desktop. I find it easier because it's right there. I know it's right there. I can access it really quickly, and I can just drag it and drop it in here. And then I can write whatever I want to write in here. If you want to say, watch my video production classes, whatever you want to say here. And then you can just click post, and that'll post onto your Facebook feed. So your Facebook friends should be able to see it. They'll be able to comment on it and interact with it however they wish. So does that make sense, everyone? That sounds good.
Yeah.
Amanda,
can you talk a little bit about the at the bottom where it says at your post, and you have a little camera there? Mm-hmm. Is that the same thing that you did now, or is something different that you could do with that?
Oh, this is a new Facebook feature. I haven't really had much time to play around with it. Right. This is create a room.
I'm familiarized with the other one, but the camera, no, I haven't used that one.
Yeah, so this is create a room. I think it's kind of supposed to be like almost like Zoom or FaceTime, where you're able to create a room with people and share things. But I'm not totally sure. I haven't had much time to play around with it.
It is. It's Facebook's version of Zoom. So you give people, you create a room, you give people the link. I mean, it might be good for you, Maria, and maybe Jenny for your support groups if a lot of your people have Facebook, because it's the same thing. You give them the link and they can all talk and chat in the room.
Yeah, Dominique?
Oh, I think, Olympia, are you using that one?
Yes, I use that for my Beth Israel group.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, so it's definitely a great tool if you kind of are familiar primarily with Facebook. It seems like a great tool to kind of get together, and you can present things in there as well. But then again, you can also live stream from Zoom to Facebook. But yeah, this is kind of to start creating a room with people. But then you have images, and it looks like you can maybe tag people in this feeling or activity that kind of goes with your description here. If you wanted to say you're feeling really happy to share this video with people, you can always customize it and make it a little more fun. But yeah, so then that's how you can just easily drag and drop your video, your photo, anything you really want to share to your Facebook.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and hop to Twitter. It's pretty much the same process, where when you log onto your Twitter, you kind of have your action bars down here, but you have the big blue button here for tweet. You can also have it up here as well if you want to just type it in here. But either way, you're going to grab your video here and just drop it in, and it immediately processes. It knows it's a video. So you can go ahead and send it out. I do know I think with Twitter, I think you can't be posting like 30 or 40-minute videos. That might have been changed recently. I'll have to do some research on it. But social media rule of thumb is really you want to get as much in as you can in a short amount of time. So you want to make sure your video is fast, it's information based, and you're getting your information together to your audience as quickly as possible. But I do know people are doing interviews, and there will be longer videos. So that may not really apply to you. But regardless, you're able to drag and drop in your videos here. And again, if you prefer to kind of do it up here, you can click this big blue tweet button on the left-hand side, grab your video, drag it and drop it in. You can type whatever you want up here. And you can go ahead and tweet it out. With Twitter, I would highly suggest using hashtags. So it's a great way to make sure that your video can be seen by other people who maybe are looking for, like video production or things like that, or great hashtags to use for breast or ovarian cancer or uterine cancer, really, and even MBC related content is BCSM for breast cancer social media and GYNC-SM for gynecologic cancer related content. Those hashtags are really active and people really love seeing new content in there. So if you want to go ahead and write those down, you don't have to do this by any means. But if you did want your video or your PowerPoint to kind of reach people, this is a really, really great way to do it. You can also use your hashtags on Facebook, but Facebook hashtag searching is not very common since you really mainly see a lot of your own family and friends and whoever you have on your Facebook on your feed. And I think that's mainly what Facebook is used for. Whereas Twitter, you can really reach a ton of people that you may not know, but maybe looking for whatever kind of information that you're giving them. Does that make sense? That sounds good to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and does anyone have questions on dragging and dropping your materials in, or that sounds good to everyone so far? Okay. So that's pretty much all I was going to go over today. But if anyone has any questions, you can just shout them out. We can have a quick discussion if you're curious about anything. And if you have any topics that you really want to go over, you can also shout them out here, or you can send them to me, and we'll try and kind of fit them in. But I think you guys have had some really, really great ideas, like going over streaming from Zoom to Facebook and putting things on YouTube. If you need a tutorial on how to upload your videos on YouTube, we can also do that. YouTube is another really useful way to get your content out there to other people because they also use hashtag and character searching. So
now that you're saying that, Amanda, so those Zoom's presentation, we will have to, if we wanted to keep them in the YouTube library, whatever, we have to download it into that, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, so you would download, so right now I'm recording this Zoom session right now. So you can download that recording and then drag and drop it literally to YouTube and it uploads for you. So if people want to know how to use YouTube to upload their videos, we can also have a session on that as well. It's like I said, it's similar to this here where you drag and drop it and it uploads.
Okay, let me ask you another question regarding the YouTube videos. Is there any way that we could separate, for example, if I have the Latinas wants to look specifically to the Spanish one, is there any section in the share that separate them, the English one from the Spanish one or not?
So with YouTube, you can do something I think they're called like playlists or something like that, where they're specific folders for specific content. So if you want to look at just breast cancer videos or just uterine cancer videos or just Spanish videos, we can create those playlists so people are just watching the videos on the topic that they want information on. We also do that on our website, where we catalog all of the past webinars. We categorize them by the disease area, what the topic is, whether it's psychology or if it's research update. So we can definitely categorize that on the share YouTube, or I'm thinking
about to make it easier, is to make it easier for everyone to, when they're going to look into a specific, topic or language, it will be easier for them. Okay.
Yes, so we can definitely, I'll add it to the list if people, you guys can always join if you want to, but we can do like a little YouTube session to kind of, so people can get familiar with it. It's one of the, if not the best tools to share videos on, really. That's kind of what its purpose is. But Facebook is another, again, really, really great platform to share videos on. Jill calls it, which I think is a great term, it's sticky content. People really gravitate towards it and they really stick with it. And so, especially on Facebook, it's a great platform to share videos as well. But again, shout out any questions you have. If not, I am going to download this recording. It'll be up on YouTube and I will send it out to everyone probably by tomorrow at some point, I would say. so that everyone can kind of access this recording whenever they want to, if they want to go over it, take some notes. Again, you can email me at any time with any questions you have.
I have a question.
Hi. Yes.
Hi. I don't understand, just conceptually. I make a video. I want to put it up on YouTube. I just take my video and put it in YouTube, and it's just there.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Yeah, so we can go over a whole process on getting your video to YouTube, because there's a few steps in there where you record your video, you download your video, and then you put it on YouTube. So we can go over the whole process.
Right. My question is, where does it go in YouTube? And I mean, do you have to have a place that you're putting it in YouTube?
You would have to have a YouTube account. So you would make like a Facebook account. So you would upload the video under your name, be it Share Cancer Support. We have a YouTube channel, or you could create your own YouTube channel under your name to post your video under. So it would be on YouTube under your name. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but then to find it, does somebody have to go to my name to find it?
They have specific links, so you could send the link directly to that video to someone, so they don't have to search for it. But
what if I wanted to put it out as public information?
Yeah, then anyone who searches something could access that video. So if you were making like a video on your breast cancer story and you made the title like My Breast Cancer Story, someone who was searching breast cancer story or My Breast Cancer Story could then find your video if it's public. Or if you want specific people to access your video, you can send it to them.
Right, but I'm talking about, I mean, I only have theoretically, I only have a few people that I could send it to.
Mm-hmm.
But if I wanted to make it a more public thing,
mm-hmm.
then it's the title that's the important thing.
Yes.
For somebody to find it.
Yes.
Because YouTube goes by the title.
Yes.
Wait, it's also have to upload it because there are different privacy settings. So there are different links. Like Amanda, like the link that I sent you is unlisted. So it's only whoever has that link can look at it. And then there's a private setting and then there's a public setting. So you'd have to make sure that the settings are set to public.
Yeah, Deborah, I think that if you want this to be something that gets to the public, the best way would probably be to make your video and then upload it to the share page. Like you were saying, the title is very important, and then we can also attach keywords to that video and hashtags also to the video, and then when people search, breast cancer or this or that, it will come up. So if it's something that you want to have more public exposure, the best idea would probably be to give it to us, upload it to the share page. If it's something that you want for a smaller circle, like how Vicky was saying, you can upload it to your account and then you can control who's able to see it.
So in the share pages in YouTube and Facebook, where's the share page?
So there's multiple sites, right? So you have YouTube, which is like one of the world's biggest video sites, right? And then you have Facebook, which is the world's biggest, social media platform. You have Twitter, which is also one of the world's biggest platforms. So we have these multiple platforms that we use all three.
I see.
Just to increase exposure. So each platform is slightly different. So YouTube, I watch YouTube, right? And I watch it because they have like informative clips, they have TV shows, they have a lot of different things. And I'm a person who, I'm a true millennial. I do not have cable. I watch all of my content online. So I utilize YouTube for educational and, recreational purposes. Then you have Facebook. Facebook is where you go where, a lot of people, okay, I want to keep up with my family. I want to keep up with my friends. They post. They also put, small videos. Now during the coronavirus pandemic, a lot of the educational things have moved from YouTube to Facebook because they know that friends and family and people are connecting on Facebook. So they want you to see it there. So that's why you can upload a video, and you also, like Amanda was saying, can use the hashtags and the title, and they're trying to get another audience through Facebook. And then you have Twitter. Twitter is all about, you know, the tweet, the very quick soundbite, this, that. That's why we recommend if you put something on Twitter, it be shorter. I just read that the time limit for Twitter, a video is about only 2 minutes if you upload it from your phone. If you upload it from your desktop, it's 10 minutes, but the Twitter, the people who watch Twitter won't probably stay engaged for 10 minutes, right? So that's why they discourage, you know, you doing it that long. And that's why over the phone, you can only upload 2 minutes. And that's for the quick bite, the quick sound bite, the quick news. You know, if you have a fact or two, that's that platform. So we utilize all three to try to get the word out about, you know, what it is that we do.
Thank you.
If that explains.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will definitely write down that we'll go over a YouTube session where we can go over kind of how you can get your video onto YouTube, all of the steps to do that, all of the steps to make sure your video is public or private if you wish, make sure that you're utilizing a good title and hashtags and things like that. So we can definitely go over that if that's something that everyone would think would be useful. Absolutely. So are there any other questions, or?
I'll just add one question to that I don't understand is hashtags. I just don't know what a hashtag is for at all.
Yeah, so hashtags are basically a way to organize content. So if you were looking for something specifically on sewing, you would type in hashtag sewing and you would find videos and photos and things about sewing. But we can go over that. I know it's hard to conceptualize just talking about it. We can go over it and we can show examples, and because that's another great way to make sure people can see your content.
Do you put that into the Google search bar, or do you put it into YouTube, or where do you put the hashtag?
It would be on like your social channels, so Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. It's kind of like a Google search, where in Google you would put sewing and you'd click enter and articles on sewing would come up. On Instagram, if you wanted to look at pictures of sewing, you would search hashtag sewing, and then you would see all the videos and photos on Instagram that have to do with sewing. But for your content to show up when someone searches hashtag sewing, you have to make sure your content says hashtag sewing. So we can go over all of that. Okay. But it's a good tool to use, and it's good to understand.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay. All right, again.
Amanda?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know, when Maria and I and Jenny were trying to get the women to download Zoom and WhatsApp, we would send them videos, you know, from YouTube in Spanish, because explaining it to them was like speaking another language.
Yeah.
So the visual was very important. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
so I was send them so they could actually see how to download from a video.
Yeah, so that's why I was hoping that the first video tutorial I showed you on using Zoom would be helpful, because I'm also a visual learner. I really like seeing the step-by-steps, someone explaining it to me. But I do know those videos go a little quickly, so I was glad that I was able to pause it and I could take questions, and we can make sure that all of the information made sense to everyone. So yeah, I think that I absolutely agree. I think so a little bit of a tutorial is also helpful to send over.
Right.
If Maggie is still here, we just did that with the ovarian. We were sending out a new emails about the ovarian 25th survivor anniversary. And we created a Zoom background. And in that copy, Maggie had listed the instructions on how to upload that Zoom background and how to access a video if you needed any more help. And I think that that's really useful.
Yes.
For anyone that's really learning something brand new. So I think I agree that that's a great way to kind of.
Just one comment because I follow Instagram. You posted something in Instagram about the 25th anniversary of the ovarian program. Beautiful. There was only one person missing. There was a couple of people missing there. Andrea was one of them. Andrea, you were not in that photo.
We're actually, so for that program, we're actually doing a countdown. So yesterday, today, tomorrow, and Sunday and Saturday.
I saw a lot of people that I recognize.
Yeah, so there's going to be a ton of familiar faces. I know it seemed like a group photo. We were leaving people out, but there's going to be a ton of different photos with a lot of familiar faces.
I saw something today and it had my kidnapped bear in it. I want that bear to go out as an APB. Who has that bear?
That bear is really cute. No,
She was adorable. That's why somebody at ASCO kidnapped her.
Oh, oh.
You should post a photo of you guys. Remember the conference with all the, that's a cute one. That's a cute
Yeah, I
one.
like that. I like that.
Yeah, so there's going to be a ton more photos. I'm definitely not leaving anyone out intentionally, I promise.
No, it's just a comment. An observation, that's it.
But yeah, I'm glad, you're able to see that on social media. And Maria, you left a really lovely comment.
I follow Latina Share and I follow Share. I follow the Twitter, I follow Instagram and Facebook. So yeah. Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to follow us on social media, you can just go onto our Share website, so sharecancersupport.org. We have all of the links to our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter. If you have those accounts and you want to follow us, that would be awesome. And you can leave lovely comments like Maria.
Yes, engage with our posts. I just liked a bunch of the ovarian stuff today.
Yeah, so it's always really great to see comments from anyone really, but especially the Share team, because you guys leave such great love on those posts. So we appreciate that. And we appreciate you. But we've got 5 more minutes. So does anyone have any other questions or?
No.
Okay, so we can end it a little early then. And again, this is being recorded. You guys will all have access to the video. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions. I will do my best to get back to you in a timely manner, and I will do my best to help you figure anything out. I know it's a little intimidating. You're not alone, so you can always reach out if you have any questions. But thank you guys so much for coming, and hopefully this was helpful.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.